Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to make a clay pendant. And if you don't know what a pendant is, it's basically going to be something you can hang from a necklace that is a piece of artwork. Okay, so here's an example of a pendant. Okay, and everyone's going to get something to hang their necklace from. I haven't decided if we're going to use yarn or actual necklaces that I order online, but then you can wear your piece of art. Now, one thing you need to keep in mind is these are breakable, so this is not something you would want to go wear at recess time. Okay, probably going to want to wear it for special occasions. Put it on, take it off. Okay, so here is a clay pendant. Here is another one, and I'm going to show you how to do both of these, one with coils and one without coils. Okay, here we go. All right, so let me just make sure. There we go. All right, so first one I'm going to show you how to do is one without coils. Okay, so you're going to want to take your clay and roll it into a ball. Okay. Another name for a ball is a sphere. Okay. Remember, this ball does not need to be absolutely perfect. All right. But once you get into a ball, you can use your hands to do this, or you can use the table to do this. You're going to go ahead and you're going to take your thumb and you're going to push it down. Okay. Now, you want it about maybe like a ½ inch thick. If it's thicker, then there's a possibility that it could crack or even maybe blow up in the kiln, just because of the possibility of air bubbles. And if it is super duper thin, it's probably going to break. Okay, so this is actually probably more like 1/3 of an inch. And I'm going to give you all rulers so you can measure your clay. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So that's actually about a ½ inch, maybe a little bit less than that. Okay. So once you get this far, okay, you're going to have a variety of tools at your table. You're going to have toothpicks, old marker caps, probably a pencil, and possibly some other tools as well. Okay, so when you get to this point, okay, you're going to notice that you have a lot of cracks and kind of wrinkles in your clay. First, you're going to want to dip your finger in a little bit of water and just smooth it all out. Okay, because you don't want your pendant to have jagged edges, especially if it's hanging around your neck. Okay. All right, so just did one side, now I'm going to do the other. If you use too much water, remember it's going to turn into a sticky, slimy mess, so, you know, only dip your finger in the water once or twice. Okay, so once you get this far, you get to decorate your pendant however you want, okay? So you might want to take a toothpick and create some sort of design. And I'm actually not going to tell you guys what you can and cannot do for your design. You get to choose. This is going to hang around your neck. So you want to think about, like, well, what means a lot to me, or what might make a cool decorative design. You might want to do some repetition, which is one thing repeating over and over again. You might want to do a pattern, which is 2 or more things repeating over and over again. Now, one thing I'm thinking about is part of the reason I live in Colorado is because of the sun. So I am going to make a sun-themed pendant. I kind of worship the sun. I've gotten a lot better about wearing sunscreen in the last few years, but yeah, I just love being out in the sun, like just, you know, releasing endorphins, because I don't know if you guys know this, but when you're out in the sun, your body releases chemicals in your brain that make you feel good, okay? So I like that. I like the fresh air and just the warmth that the sun gives you, because I like to be warm. I'd rather be warm than cold, okay? And when you're in the sun, it's just cheerier than dark, dreary weather. All right, so here I've got my little sun. Maybe I even want to add a little face to my sun, okay? Don't need to do this, but you know, it's just for fun. Okay, so here's my little sun. And now I need to make sure that I get a hole in this thing, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to stick my necklace through it. So I'm going to take this chopstick and I'm going to push it through the clay, okay? And now I've got my hole so that I can hang my necklace, okay? Now I can add more decoration when we either glaze or paint these. I haven't decided what we're going to do yet in terms of adding color, but I can add more decoration and pattern using color, okay? All right, so that's how you make a regular clay pendant. Now I'm gonna show you how to make a coil pendant. Okay, so a coil is just like a long snake-like piece of clay. Okay, so first I'm going to use my hands to kind of make that snake-like shape. Then I'm going to take my hands, and once I've got this snake-like shape, I'm going to spread my fingers out and I'm going to roll the clay. Now, if you roll your coil super duper thin, it's going to be hard to work with. So you don't want it to be super duper thin, guys, okay? I'll show you about how thick it is, okay? So I want it to be about as thick as probably like my pinky finger, okay? Or something very similar. And now, once I've gotten this far, I'm gonna take my clay, and this is the tricky part, because if your clay is really hard, it's not gonna roll as well. But I'm gonna take one end, and I'm gonna curl it and roll it up. And you're gonna notice that your clay is probably gonna crack a little bit while you do this, okay? Now you don't want it to be so big that it's heavy around your neck. So like I'm already noticing, I'm like, I don't know. This might be a little too big, might be okay, okay? So I'm gonna roll it up. Now one thing I need to do to make sure that I can hang my coil piece is I'm gonna create just a little opening, just like that, okay? And then I'm gonna keep going. Now, if you forget to create that opening, we can actually make it with a tool. Okay, so now I'm this far, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the end of my coil and I'm gonna smush it against the rest of my clay, okay? Now I'm gonna flip this over, okay? And I'm gonna take a spoon or something similar to a spoon. Let me find a spoon, okay? And I'm going to seal it. Now this part might be kind of tricky for you. I might need to help you with this part, but you're just gonna hold it and you're gonna seal the other side with a spoon, okay? All right, now I've sealed it. I'm gonna take a little bit of water and just smooth it out, because remember, you don't want any jagged edges. It's gonna be hanging around your neck. Now, if you don't want to wear this as a necklace and you don't want it hanging around your neck, you could also hang it from the wall or hang it somewhere else in your house, okay? All right, So now I've got my coil pendant, and now I'm ready to decorate. Okay, so again, you're gonna have a variety of tools at your desk, and you get to decide how you go about decorating your piece. Okay, so I am gonna create some sort of pattern here. And what I'm doing is I'm not only adding a pattern, but I'm going to be adding texture to my piece, because as I push into the clay, I'm creating different types of lines and shapes that are pushed into the clay. Okay, so here we go. I'm working on I'm adding a pattern to the clay. Sorry, someone just entered the room and it distracted me for a second. But once I'm done with my pattern, okay, I can decide if I want to add any other designs to my piece. And then I can also add more pattern using color. Okay. All right. So that is how you make a coil pendant. Remember, your clay has to dry out for 1 to 2 weeks, and then we'll fire it in the special oven called the kiln, and then we'll be either painting or glazing, which we will talk about the difference between those two in class. All right, happy art making.